What's poppin', everybody? This is Ray Rawlins from the Ray Rawlins Network, where we talk cartoons and we damn near do it daily. I'm joined by Alex Payne, and today we're viewing Season 1, Episode 2 of Courage the Cowardly Dog, and this episode is called The Shadow of Courage. Now, per usual, with Alex Payne being the Courage the Cowardly Dog, what's that word I'm looking for? Professional? Is that what I always say? I think
that's
so.
what you always say.
Okay, I thought it was a different word. Anyway, basically he knows the shit out of this series. So, like you've been doing the whole, or actually every episode review we do on this network, give us the episode breakdown. What happens, man?
Well, see, I had difficulty figuring out how I would describe this episode. So I'm pretty much going to say, like, in the beginning, this old bitchy rich guy dies, and his shadow, I'm assuming he must be got like cursed with the shadow or something, becomes free and goes out to scare everyone. And eventually, because of a thunderstorm, because apparently a shadow is afraid of a thunderstorm for some reason, he ends up on the farm and starts scaring Eustace and all of them, especially Eustace, which is kind of hilarious, but we'll get to that later. And eventually, as always, Courage has to save the day, and he goes and saves the day in a way you wouldn't expect. So yeah, that's the episode.
Listen, we might as well just say how he saves the day, because one, I did not see that fucking ending coming. I expected him to get in this nice big fight with this shadow, but this dude just ends up talking to him. Like, for real, he ends up doing the whole Naruto talk no jutsu on this shadow, bro.
No, listen, he don't talk to him. He put that nigga through therapy.
He sure did, didn't he? Listen, all I gotta say is Courage is a straight gangster, okay? And especially after doing that talk no jutsu, I don't see why Cartoon Network had to take away his talking abilities. I really don't understand why they would do that to this doggy, okay? But you know what? I guess you could say that's my first impressions. I'm going to talk more how I feel about this episode during the review portion of this video. But Mr. Alex Payne, go ahead. What do you got to say about this?
My first impression is, man, this is a really funny episode. Like I really that's my first impression. Really, really funny episode from the start, I would say. Because that butler was so cold. It's like he hear homeboy dying and then he just throw the towel on the ground and just walk off whistling, just cold as hell. Plus, I guess you know what? That would be my real first impression. This episode starts off with an old guy dropping dead. Literally, they didn't like sugarcoat it. They wasn't like, oh, maybe this happened. Like he legit just dropped dead.
Man, cartoons are a funny ass thing, and you think they're supposed to be like this fun, happy thing for kids, which in most parts they are, but they have some really dark things that happens throughout them. That's for sure. But I guess we can get on to the moments portion of this episode, because man, I will tell you this. Besides that whole talk no jutsu thing that Courage was doing, the whole thing that I really enjoy about him is the way when he gets all like flustered and scared, the sound effects he makes. Like he was in the bed with Eustace and Muriel, and I can't even mimic the sound effect, but I know for sure I had to like go back and rewind the video. Like, yo, what? That was Courage? I thought he does something different. And then obviously he does the start going all nuts and whatnot. But I love that dog, like straight up. I love that dog and his crazy, wacky sound effects. I know you're gonna say it, so I'm gonna say it before you. I love the damn music, the Panic song. I can't get that out of my head. I'm like, oh shit, it's the Panic song. So it's my first time seeing Courage the Cowardly Dog. Like, not first time per se, but any episode we review, it's my first time seeing it. So I fucking love it for sure. Like the music, the Panic song, that shit is ingrained in my brain. So as soon as I start hearing it start, I'm like, oh, I know what it is. This is the Panic song. Oh shit, I love this shit. But I do have to say I love when he's talking to his computer, the whole little sequence going on there.
Listen, that computer's saucy as hell. I'm not gonna lie.
Man, the computer's supposed to be helping him. It's over here insulting them, giving a hard time and whatnot. I like because I think Muriel starts doing the whole song thing, right? You know, she starts doing that whole little singing thing when she goes and smacks the shit out of Eustace for putting Courage up in the attic.
Listen, I'll say this: Muriel is one of my favorite things about this episode. I mean, she's be running nigga down with that friggin' rolling pin to knock the fuck out of him with it. Especially that little like I guess it's like the Viking trumpet sound type thing of like and she come running with the thing and bam!
Yo, I one thing I can say is like Eustace, you can see that he really don't fuck with Courage. Toss him in the attic because he keeps screaming and whatnot, and which you can't blame him. The man's trying to sleep, so I'll give him somewhat of a pass. But like the whole redemption of that is seeing Muriel fuck him up whenever he's messing with Courage, man. And I'm like, I love it.
It's
I love
funny.
it. Pop his
That,
ass.
that's another funny thing too. Like when he had him in the attic and he was like, and now I'll give you this one last chance to be a good dog, and then you see Courage jump on his leg, Master. That was funny.
Hell nah. But I do have to say, like another thing that definitely made me laugh was when he's sitting at the computer and then he like howls, and it's that little sound thing that and shit that happens throughout the episode. And he's like, "Man, I gotta stop doing that. I'm starting to like that." and then,
Yeah.
and then obviously he starts typing on the computer, questioning it and whatnot. So I gotta say that's one of my favorite things. And like I said, referencing a couple times, I'm referencing again. The ending of this story is just like, good lord, you would not expect it. Like if you watch All the Courage, like I won't say all the Courage, but some of the episodes I seen for the 31 Days of Halloween Cartoons marathon, you wouldn't expect to see any episode end like this one did. Just him talking to this shadow, and like you said, put the damn shadow through therapy in a sense, and had him change his whole meaning in life. He wants to be a star now, and he's part of the stars, I suppose. So,
Yeah.
but
And
your
that's it. And
favorite
that scene
moments?
was
You got
kind of
any more?
beautiful, man. When he was like, "Oh, you could go and be
It
a
definitely
shadow
was.
for the stars." Not bad.
It definitely was. It definitely was. It wasn't
And
anything like I said you wouldn't expect. So I have to give writers special points for that one. I'm not even gonna lie to you. It's something that's
no,
not
yeah,
done a lot in my opinion. So they get
I
points from me on that. So
I could tell that you're really starting to understand why Courage is such a great show. Like you're really getting into it now.
I fought with cartoons, man, and I told you at the first couple episodes I fought with courage. Okay, I fought with courage.
No, it's only gonna get even stronger and stronger, man. I'm telling you.
Well,
Because
with this whole little segment, we're hopefully gonna do more reviews of it. But go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say because even just think about how you felt about it before watching this episode, and now you love it even more. So it's just like I'm telling you, man, it's just gonna keep growing.
Just because Courage talked more, I think that's why I liked it. Do you have any more moments before we get into the reviews portion?
I'm sure I do, but I think I mentioned the most mentionable ones, I suppose.
Okay. All right. Well, like I was saying, I really enjoyed the fact that Courage talked in this episode. Like, if there's one thing I can say that I've noticed when doing these reviews, the episodes that Courage didn't talk in, like The Mask, I mean, that was a damn good one in itself. Gave it a nice high 9 rating, I believe. Like hearing him talk adds so much to the show. Like especially when he goes down into the getting ready to go down to the basement. Oh, I'm really gonna do it this time. I'm not scared. Oh, the things I do for love. And that's another one of my moments where he's down in the basement and Shadow keeps scaring the shit out of him. That's another one of my
Oh
favorite
yeah,
moments.
listen, when the shadow showed Muriel and then she pulled her head off, that was pretty freaking freaky and disturbing. Because all you hear is a and it looks like you ripped a tooth out or something.
Oh my lord! Listen, I'm gonna go ahead and toss my review. And overall, great episode, and I just like the whole premise of any Courage episode. And I'm starting to notice this now. Doesn't necessarily revolve around one character. It usually stems from some outside force, usually like a ghost or some evil spirit or whatever the fuck, and it's either torturing the shit out of one of the three characters. That's usually what the premise is. So it's not like you're gonna see an episode of Muriel going to the store or whatnot or anything like that. So this just starts originally off of just like a regular story idea. And it develops around these three characters. So just from that originality alone, and plus, like I said, I like the fact that they let Courage talk a lot in this episode. Obviously, with it being the second episode, it really added a lot more specialness to me. For that, like I said, music was good as it is in every episode. Yeah, I'm sure you will mention that. Um, and like I
Mm-hmm.
said, the shadow, the ending. Like I said, I'm gonna have to give the writers special points because that ending, I would not have seen that coming. I was like, oh shit, when's Courage gonna fight this shadow thingy or whatever? I know they're gonna end up fighting, but no, he end up hitting him with the Naruto talk no jutsu. I'm gonna mention that 90 times during this video, but he did, and that really shocked the hell out of me. Like usually with cartoons, with me being a 22-year-old man, you're gonna be able to predict the ending. At least you think you would. And this one threw me for a little like, get out of here. Is it okay? That's all Courage had to do was just talk to the thing. That's it. Okay, all right. I bet you that boosted his confidence too. So that's what I like about it, man. It's an ending that not everyone can see coming. And it sure threw me for a loop. Like I'm sure it threw most kids for a loop. And it probably disappointed them. It's like, oh man, I wanted them to fight. But it is what it is. I like cartoons and I can see the specialness in that ending. So I'm gonna give this episode. I'm gonna hit it with the classic Ray Rawlins 7.5 out of 10. Definitely not a bad episode, and it's more closer to being a good episode than bad. Honestly, it's I wouldn't even say it's average. Well, no, I wouldn't say it's average. I think overall it's a damn good episode. Honestly, very close to being a very good episode. So I'll say 7.5 out of 10. What about you, Mr. Alex Payne?
Honestly, like I really love this episode. I feel like there's a lot of great moments. The ending is very, very great, as you said. Um, like it's ungodly hilarious, and it could be really. I feel like this episode hits that perfect balance of horror and comedy.
Yeah,
And
right. Oh, yeah, that's a good. That's good. You're right.
yeah, so like I think this is a very honestly, this is one of my favorite episodes from watching it this time. Like if I had to list my top five Courage episodes, it's definitely be in there somewhere, if not closer to the bottom. So I'm gonna have to give this one. I'm gonna have to give this one a solid 8.5. Honestly,
Ooh, yeah, it is nice. You said if it's on your list of top, if you had a top 10 list of all the episodes, you said it definitely has a spot. And 8.5, I say honestly, that's good. That's good. I even say that's probably too high, maybe an 8, but I'll say 7.5. I'm sticking to my 7.5. You give it 8.5. I definitely agree with that. Like you said, perfect mix between horror and comedy. Overall, great episode. So there you guys have it. That's our review for Courage the Cowardly Dog, The Shadow of Courage, Season 1, Episode 2. This is the Ray Rollins Network where we talk cartoons and we damn near do it daily. My name is Ray Rollins. His is Alex Payne. And we will see ya when we see ya. Big changes coming. Video on that tomorrow. Nice little podcast. We will see you then. Peace.